Thank you, gentlemen, and good morning. Escalating attacks in the Middle East, the U.S. conducting a 9th straight night of strikes against Iran, and the regime targeting American allies in the Gulf in return. So good morning, everybody, on this World Cup Monday, we'll call it. I'm Bill Hemmer, live in New York. And good morning.
Not a holiday. It's not a holiday. Not at all. But it was a great run, and we'll have more on that in a bit. I'm Dana Perino, and this is America's Newsroom. So on the news, CENTCOM says American forces are expanding its scope of the strikes, taking out Iranian military assets all across the country. And it's all part of President Trump's increasing pressure campaign. It's turning up the heat on Iran over its aggressive actions in the Strait of Hormuz.
So all of this coming amid a tragic reminder about the cost of bravery. Iranian missile strikes at an airbase in Jordan, killing 2 U.S. service members on Friday, a 3rd member reportedly still missing. Also yesterday on Sunday, a 4th soldier killed in northern Iraq. The commander-in-chief paying tribute to their ultimate sacrifice for America.
Well, we feel very badly, but you know, those great people, those great patriots are out there fighting that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Iran has been very, very badly damaged. They've lost everything almost militarily. They've got very little effort.
General Jack Keane is standing by, but let's start with Trey Yingst. He's live in Tel Aviv. Good morning, Trey.
Dana, good morning. A 9th consecutive night of U.S. strikes hit Iran overnight. According to CENTCOM military command centers, a variety of surveillance positions, missile and drone launching sites, along with other targets, were hit. The strikes do come after 3 U.S. service members were killed by an Iranian ballistic missile attack in Jordan on Friday. The U.S. military is still working to identify the remains of that 3rd soldier. A 4th soldier was killed in northern Iraq during a controlled detonation of an unexploded Iranian drone. President Trump reacted to the Iranian attacks, the U.S. strikes, and the deaths of these soldiers on Sunday.
They've got some missiles, they've got some drones, they've got some manufacturing ability, not much. We control the Strait. They don't control anything. So we'll see what happens, but we hit them very hard again tonight, and we did that in honor of the probably 3.
President Trump told Fox News last week that if Iran doesn't reach a deal, strikes will escalate this week to hit power plants and bridges. Iranian officials have indicated that some new proposals are being discussed.
Proposals have been put forward by the mediators. They have been conveyed to us, and we have received them. But for now, allow me not to go into details. What can I confirm? That in recent days, the diplomatic apparatus has remained active, and that ideas have indeed been conveyed to us by several mediators.
The Iranians are saying publicly the memorandum of understanding is suspended. Regional countries are reportedly pushing for another agreement, as Secretary of State Marco Rubio indicated the diplomatic path forward remains open.
I think we're always open to diplomacy. It has to be real. It has to be a deal that they're willing to live by. Look, Iran a week ago was supposed to put out a statement saying that the Straits of Hormuz would be open, that they would no longer attack shipping. And instead of doing that, they attacked 3 ships. I think that was last Friday or Saturday. So, I mean, their behavior has to change in order for ours to change.
Dana, as we are speaking, there are reports of sirens sounding right now in Bahrain. Here in Israel, the military remains on high alert. Just yesterday, Israeli missile interceptors were fired at Iranian missile debris as Iranian missiles targeted the southern Jordanian city of Aqaba. Dana?
All right, Trey in Tel Aviv. Thank you. Bill?
So now, Dana, this is some of the video that CENTCOM put out on Sunday, some of the hits that were recorded on the ground there in Iran. Come over here on the map and we'll show you where most of the activity has been from over the weekend. Strait of Hormuz, that choke point, yet again, is the focus point. As you can see, the number of reported and confirmed hits here right on the Iranian side of the Persian Gulf, right here in the Gulf of Oman. A few other hits right here across the border from Kuwait and Iraq. And one other interesting point here. In the town of Tabriz, this is about 325 miles northwest of Tehran, there were underground missile sites that were apparently targeted by the U.S. We'll wait to see how successful those might have been. In return now, the Iranians struck back as well. Keep in mind, all the yellow dots on that map behind me, these are all U.S. military bases throughout the region, from Jordan up into northern Iraq, many around the area of Kuwait, Bahrain, and into the UAE. What we're hearing from Kuwait and Bahrain is that missiles were incoming. We believe none of those missiles made much of a contact. What Trey just mentioned in Aqaba down here is in southern Jordan. That was a place where a known hit took place over the weekend. With regard to the blockade, it's still in place now, runs roughly from this point in Oman up to the border between Iran and Pakistan. What the military is telling us is that there were 6 vessels redirected as of Sunday, and 1 other vessel was disabled. Why that happens, sometimes they don't pay attention to instructions or obey the commands, and therefore they are fired upon. We do believe, however, that dozens of ships, vessels carrying oil over the weekend and other ocean-going craft. Some of them moved through the Iranian passage. Some of them went through the international passage. So a bit of a mixture here, again, through the Strait of Hormuz. Jack Keen's with us now, Fox News senior strategic analyst. And, sir, on a Monday, good to have you start our day with us. 9 straight nights, sir, is not insignificant. Do you see this conflict much different than it was a week ago?
Well, certainly, yes. Look, we're taking a restock of what's happened here. First of all, we went to a ceasefire on April the 7th after 39 days of military operations. And the reality was we went into a diplomatic phase that lasted almost 90 days. And out of that, we did get a signed document, the Memorandum of Understanding. And what was in there was one agreement, and then 60 days of negotiations to get to the tough future agreements. But that one agreement was the Straits of Hormuz. And the president of Iran and the president of the United States both signed the agreement. We have said many times on this broadcast, you can't trust the Iranians. They lie about what they intend to do, and even if they sign a deal, they likely will not comply with it. But the fact is, even what they did this time, 3 or 4 days after signing the deal, they violated the deal with their president's signature on it by disrupting the Straits of Hormuz, when what they were supposed to do is make an announcement that the Straits of Hormuz is open, there's no restrictions being imposed on it whatsoever, there's no tolls, there's no insurance fees, nothing. It's international waterways, and none of that took place. And obviously we have been retaliating against that violation of that deal ever since. And what are we doing? We're doing what we couldn't get done diplomatically. We removed our blockade as part of the deal, but they maintain control. So now we're conducting the battle of the Straits of Hormuz to forcibly open the straits, secure it, and eventually control it. That is what has taken place, and huge progress is being made. And as we are taking casualties in doing this, casualties are a part of war, and our heart goes out to the loss of life here. And 3 losses of life has taken place, 1 non-combatant and potentially a 4th. Add that to the list of thousands that the Iranians have killed, Americans, since 1983. And that's what we're dealing with in this barbaric regime. So this is going to still take some time to be able to achieve that objective the president has given to his military commanders. But that's the path we're on. What is the fuss all about with the Straits of Hormuz, Bill and Dana? From Iran's perspective, this is a strategic asset that exceeds the nuclear deal in terms of their enterprise. Why? Because their enterprise is largely under a mountain of rubble. But this is a means for them to have influence in the region and control the distribution of oil, something they have always wanted to have. And look, they're wanting to fight for it.
The Ayatollah put out this statement. Of course, he's not been seen since those initial attacks, but he said this. Now that the American enemy seeks to ignite war and endure heavier costs, it should know that the Iranian nation and the resistance front have unforgettable lessons in store for it. Could you speak to there's some anonymous reporting in the Washington Post today about our munitions and our capabilities, which, of course, I'm sure the Ayatollah in some way is figuring into his calculations?
Yes, I can't speak to the specifics of it because I don't know. It's not that I'm not revealing. But what I have been told is that in the time that, obviously, there's 90 days we've been conducting a diplomatic effort, that we've come to full magazine depth again, and the Israelis are at full magazine depth as well. That is what I know. So I think we've got to ask the administration about it. I'm confident we can execute the mission the president has given us in front of us. And the reason why I say that is because we're fully prepared to go back to major combat operations, which would be 2 weeks with a different set of targets than what we're pursuing right now, along with the Israelis. And if we're prepared to do that, where the targets are considerably more exhaustive than what we're dealing with the Straits of Hormuz, I think we're in good shape.
General, thanks for coming on. Jack Keane, we'll check in again in a few days, perhaps midweek, and see where we are then.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Great talking to you.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.